Hi everyone, Jack from Maths Forge here, and in today's lesson we're going to be doing highest common factors. Let's take a look at the 1-star example. Here we're being asked to find the HCF, or the highest common factor of 12 and 15. So how we approach this is using prime factor trees, and if you don't know how to do prime factor trees, check out the lesson on prime factorization. So I first begin by writing down my numbers 12 and 15, and then I break them up into their prime factors. So 12, I'm going to divide that by 2, and that's going to give us 6. And then the 6, I'm going to divide it by 2 again, and that's going to give us 3. And we stop here since 3 is a prime number. And now for 15, I can't divide it by 2, but I'm going to divide it by 3, and that gives us 5. And that's it for 15. The next step is to draw a Venn diagram, and that looks like this. 2 circles, one of the circles I'm going to label 12, and the other circle I'm going to label 15. And within the Venn diagram, within these 2 circles, you're going to write down the prime factors of 12 and 15. So I can see here immediately that there is a shared prime factor between 12 and 15, and it is 3. So it's going to go into the central area, the shared area between 12 and 15. Notice how I only write it down once. And if you take a look at the other prime factors of 12, we have a 2 followed by another 2, so they go here. And for 15, there's a 5 which goes here next to the 15. And your highest common factor can be obtained from the Venn diagram by multiplying all of the numbers in the central region. And in this case, we only have 3. So the highest common factor is 3. There are no other numbers to multiply it by. And if we check our answer, there we go. The highest common factor of 12 and 15 is 3. Let's do a 2-star example. So we have 40 and 42. 40, I'm going to break it down into 2 and 20. And the 20, I'm going to break it down into 2 and 10. And the 10, I'm going to break it down into 2 and 5. And we stop here since 5 is a prime number. And we're going to break down 42 into 2 and 21. And 21, we're going to break it down into 3 and 7. And we stop here since 7 is a prime number. Now we draw our Venn diagram. So it's going to be 2 circles. And the left circle is going to be labeled as 40, and the right circle is going to be labeled as 42. Now let's take a look at the prime factors and which of them are shared. We have a 2 that is being shared, so that's going to go in the central region here. And there are no other prime factors that are shared. So the remaining prime factors of 40, 2, 2, and 5, I'm just going to write here next to the 40. And the remaining prime factors of 42, 3, and 7, I'm going to write here. And remember, the highest common factor is obtained by multiplying the numbers in the central region of the Venn diagram. Since we only have a 2, it's just going to be a 2. And if we check our answer, there it is. We'll do a 3-star example. So we have 90 and 72. So for 90, I'm going to break it down into 2 and 45. And 45, I'm going to break it down into 5 and 9. And finally 9, I'm going to break it down into 3 and 3. And for 72, we're going to break it down into 2 and 36. And 36 is going to be broken down into 2 and 18. 18 is going to be broken down into 2 and 9. And finally, 9 is going to be broken down into 3 and 3. And now we draw our Venn diagram. So on the left, we have 90, and on the right, we have 72. Now let's see our shared prime factors. So we have a 2 that is shared between 90 and 72, so that goes in the center here. We have a 3 that is shared, so that goes in the central region here. And finally, we have another 3 that is shared, and that also goes down in the central region here. Notice that even though there are 2 of them, if they are shared, you only write them down once in the central region. And so the remaining prime factors of 90 is 5, and that goes here next to the 90. And the remaining prime factors of 72 are 2 and 2, which go here next to the 72. And of course, the highest common factor is calculated by multiplying all of the numbers in the central region. So unlike the 1 and 2-star examples, we now have numbers to multiply together. So it's going to be 2 times 3 times 3, which gives us 18. And if we check our answer, there it is. So that's it for the highest common factor. Remember, break your numbers down using prime factor trees to get their prime factors, draw a Venn diagram for both of your numbers, and place the prime factors in the correct location within the Venn diagram. To find the highest common factor, simply multiply all of your numbers in the central region here.